Hello everyone, and welcome to my Days of Our Lives official. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. According to spoilers for Days of Our Lives, we have some exciting news for you. Let's start with the return of a villain in the week of November 4th to 8th. James Reed will play the newly released prison escapee Clyde Weston again. But by contacting Chad DiMera and requesting assistance with an enigmatic mission, Clyde will be taking a significant risk. For some entertaining sequences with her TV parents, Finley Rose Slater will also appear as Rachel Black. Watch for Brady Black, Eric Martsolf, and Kristen DiMera, Stacey Hayduke, to show off their daughter. The reappearance of some Days figures who haven't visited Salem in a long time should also be discussed. Although they haven't been spotted together since July, Paul Narita and Andrew Donovan are set to make some new appearances soon. Paul and Andrew will get a mini-story arc even though they will be back for the celebration of John Black and Marlena Evans' anniversary. There will be a good reason why Paul will withhold something from Andrew. Paul will soon give Andrew an engagement ring and a marriage proposal because, as it turns out, he has decided that Andrew is the person he wants to spend the rest of his life with. After a year away from Days, Belle Black Brady, Martha Madison, will make a comeback. Fans of DOL will want to welcome Belle home because she hasn't seen on TV since November 2023. When Marlena opens the door and sees her daughter waiting there, she will follow suit. Days watchers will witness some endearing moments as Marlena embraces Belle tightly. JJ Devereaux will have a warm embrace of his own after surprising Julie Williams at the Horton residence. Julie will be overjoyed to see JJ again and might question him about all the phony Abigail DiMera, also known as Cat Green, drama that transpired in Paris. Julie has already received updates from Chad, but she might prefer JJ's account. Regarding departures, Greg Vaughn, Serena Scott Thomas, and Brandon Barish, Stefan DiMera, have all concluded their most recent stints on the program, though Vaughn will return in the future as Eric. We'll give you more predictions on all the shockers and shakeups because spoilers for Days of Our Lives indicate that there may be more shocks in store for the comings and goings. I was convinced when she read them aloud. And it affected her in some way, Chad remarked. When Kat had recited Abigail's wedding vows, Chad reflected. Julie remarked, "Don't tell me you're going to start feeling sorry for a con artist." Chad reaffirmed his anger toward Kat. Chad stated that JJ had informed Abigail's parents of the situation when Julie inquired about Jack and Jennifer. And, Julie, I wanted to tell you face to face. You've supported me during this entire ordeal. My rock is you, Chad remarked. Julie took Chad's hand in hers. Julie declared, "Well, you're mine." Julie confided in Chad that without him, she would not have survived the fire. Julie remarked, "My heart hurts for you, sweetheart." Kat paced a detention cell at the Salem police station. Her brother Mark was placed in the next detention cell by an officer. Kat asked Mark if their mother was dead after the police left. Mark remarked, "I don't know if it actually happened." Mark clarified that they had to presume that Clyde was aware that the plan had failed because he had been unable to get through to him on the phone. Kat was determined not to give up. "So we just threw away our lives and all of our freedom for nothing after everything we did," lied to Chad and his whole family. Kat said. "Even my one phone call was thrown away just now." However, Mark remarked, "At least I didn't murder Chad in cold blood." Kat said, "Thank God," as Mark moved away from his sister. Kat looked pityingly at Mark as he walked his cage. "Being told you had to kill Chad must have caused you a great deal of distress," Kat remarked. "And I only did it because I was aware that Clyde would send someone else to do it if I didn't." To murder a father and an innocent man, Mark bemoaned. Kat reassured Mark that if Chad hadn't been trying to save their mother's life, he wouldn't have thought about killing him. "I still despise myself for allowing it to happen," Mark remarked. Kat realized that Mark was aware of her feelings for Chad when he glanced at her. "I suppose it makes some sense, doesn't it? This amazing man adores his wife intensely. I was acting like she was." "It would have taken a really hard heart not to answer that," Kat said. Kat mentioned how happy Chad had been to see his wife again. "He's a really kind man. A decent father. A decent husband. Kat said, and I broke his heart. And I intended to kill him, Mark muttered. Kat shook her head, pointing out that it was irrelevant now since Chad detested them both and would never be able to forgive them. What about Felicity and Aaron? Without you, what are they going to do? Mark was asked by Kat. Mark shrugged and stated that he had no idea if their siblings were even aware of his incarceration. Kat declared, they're going to learn about me and everything I did. Their sister is you. They adore you. That won't change, Mark stated. Kat sighed, mentioning how much she missed her family. We're going to figure out a method to get out of this because they need us. In some way. Yes, we will. All right. Together, Mark said. Kat was led up to the interrogation room by an officer who had returned. Kat was taken aback to discover that Chad was her guest. Steve went to the penthouse to discuss the situation with Chad and Kat with Marlena. I have no idea how difficult this must be for Chad. Marlena remarked, you know, learning that this woman he believed to be Abigail is a fraud. Steve went on to say, and been lying to us all for months. About Chad, Marlena inquired. Chad had been silent on the way home, Steve explained. Marlena was astonished to learn about Mark Green's involvement when Steve gave her the entire tale. Kayla was as well. Steve remarked, she said, Mark was one of the best doctors on staff. Marlena inquired about the relationship between Clyde, Mark, and Kat. Surprisingly, Marlena, there is a bright side to everything. And that has a direct impact on John, Steve stated. John had been discovered in the same flat as Kat, Steve recalled Marlena. Marlena remarked, we knew there had to be some connection. Yes, there is. Kat Green is the real name of the Abigail imposter. Steve explained that she was named after her mother, Katharina. There were many Katharinas in the world, Marlena said, raising an eyebrow. Steve clarified that after asking Kat, she had acknowledged that Meliones had been her mother's maiden name. Steve remarked, the same Katharina John is said to have killed when he was the pawn. How is this even possible? On the night when John shot Katharina, you were present. Marlena remarked, you saw her lying there. Steve said that he had thought Katharina was dead and that Constantine must have thought his daughter was dead as well. But as John and I ran out of there, he was unconscious. It's anyone's guess what transpired next, Steve remarked. When Marlena questioned Kat about the matter, Steve replied that he had not brought it up to her because he didn't believe she was aware of his history with her mother. Now, where is Katharina? We must locate her. We must speak with her, Marlena stated. Steve shared what Mark and Kat had stated about their mother with Marlena. Steve went on to say he had no idea whether Clyde had killed Katharina or whether she was still alive. How was it possible for Clyde to communicate while incarcerated? Marlena inquired. Steve informed Marlena that Shane had agreed to use additional security to prevent Clyde from communicating outside the prison after he had alerted him to the problem. If we don't know where she is, how can we keep her safe? Marlena said. We are unable to, Steve acknowledged. Marlena smiled and said she was glad to inform John that Katharina had not been killed in the meanwhile. Marlena picked up the phone to contact John and declared, he's an innocent man. Marlena went to the pub to bid Eric farewell after speaking with John. Eric informed Marlena about Holly's choice to pardon both him and Nicole. Eric remarked, I'm just thankful that she and Nicole were able to work things out. Eric stated he felt the same way when Marlena told him she would miss him. That you get to spend time with your child and the woman you love makes me very happy, Marlena remarked. Eric remarked, I just pray to God and hope that we'll live closer one day. Eric accepted Marlena's commitment to video chat. Marlena sent her best wishes to Eric John. And I'll tell you more later, but he's still processing some big news, Marlena stated. Eric wanted to know how John was doing. Eric was reassured by Marlena that the news was positive. Did you find this article useful?